There are plenty of books out there, and videos too, on how to prepare for hyperinflation, and they're all good.
However, there are many strategies that most people don't think about. Developing a new way of life and preparedness is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a new way of thinking. So here is your ultimate guide in preparing for hyperinflation.
Stop the blame game. Stop blaming the leaders. Stop blaming Russia. And stop blaming overspending.
Yeah, and honestly, it's probably a combination of all those things. But who cares? It's time to start taking care of yourself and taking care of your family. Stop with the blaming games. Even stop blaming yourself too. Because how many times have you said this? And I have too. I wish I would have thought of this earlier. I wish I would have started stockpiling or preparing 5 years ago. There's no better time than the present right now to get going. Just stop complaining about it and let's get things done.
Do it now.
Get creative. You need to develop or learn critical thinking skills. Something not taught in schools today.
That's for sure.
Which is so unfortunate, obviously. But you need to be malleable. Don't think that basically finding one way through hyperinflation and survival and stuff is just that's it. No, you need to be completely flexible. You know, kind of like, you know what? It's like
MacGyver, yep.
Yeah, so he could actually make like a bomb out of a toothpick and a pair of pantyhose and actually off he goes. He could figure out a way. He always figured out a way because that's what was on his script. But that's what you need to do. And I guess the biggest thing is best described by my son. I have a teenage son. He's 16. And I'm really, as his dad, trying to get him into this line of thinking. Okay, so I'll challenge him with this.
Yeah.
Sam, I want you to go and take care of this one job out on the homestead. Maybe change a tire on the lawnmower. Sounds really easy, doesn't it? And I'll sit back. I won't even go out with him. And I'll kind of watch him through the windows and see how he does.
Let him figure it out.
Right, because either he's going to do two things. Either A, he's going to fix it, or he's going to come back, which is the teenager thing, and say, I can't figure it out. And they get this mentality of it can't be done. Of course it can be done. And so I'll tell him, I was like, Sam, you need to make sure you have that mindset of, I don't care how it's going to get done or what tools need to be done, but I'm going to do this. Yeah. I'm going to figure it out and get it done. And figure it out with your noggin doesn't necessarily mean jumping on YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is awesome, full of information. But always going there wrecks your critical thinking skills because it's often better to figure it out on your own, especially if crap hits the fan.
Yeah, there's no YouTube.
You're going to have to figure these things out on your own and developing these creative, critical thinking skills to get past it.
Yeah, we've lost a lot of that.
Well,
like society.
People have.
Yeah, society.
Yeah, not
has.
us.
Not us. We really try to instill that in our children and us personally.
And us,
but
right.
I didn't think society. I think the internet has definitely, that has helped. Dishelp them, I guess. No.
Dishelp?
No, dishelp.
They've been dishelped. Yeah, and that's exactly it. And so our mentality and attitude that we try to instill in our kids and ourselves as well, so hopefully you will too, don't accept no. Always say, no, I will get this done. And it's just a matter of figuring out how to do it.
You can do it.
You can do it.
Be thrifty.
Obviously, there are items you're going to need in the future. And if you have the extra money and actually can put money toward it, with hyperinflation coming, you need to be able to buy the item now. An example is this. You know, if you went to the dollar store like a couple months ago, things were $1.
Yeah.
But now most things are $1.25. What's it going to be like in a few years?
Yeah.
$2. So take your pick. Do you want to go back in time? You can't do that and buy the can of peas for $1. Or would you rather pay $1.25 for them now? Don't complain and say, oh, they're $1.25. Because guess what? Buy it for $1.25 now and store away. Or guess what? A year or two down the road, it's going to be $2.
Yep. And you want to make sure that you're able to hold the stuff in a safe place. Storage is the key, like tubs and things that seal, because you don't want to buy that rice or that oatmeal and then animals get into it and you now are out money and you've lost it. So I think it's important to do that.
Yeah, that's a mentality thing too, I think, with teenagers or just people in general, where, oh, I bought this, I got it cheap, it's not worth anything. No, it's worth something. You need to take care of it and put it away to make sure it doesn't get ruined. Pay off your debt. We've talked about this before too. Having debt is actually a very scary thing with the possibility of things coming.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just mortgage, but debt overall. And let's say you actually have 3 things of debt. Hopefully you don't have this. Let's say one of them is a credit card, a high interest rate. Mm-hmm. The second one's a car, which is a medium interest rate. Then there's your house with a lower interest rate. The best way to always do it, by the way, is to pay off the higher interest rate ones first.
Yeah.
So let's say each one's $100 each. Man, if you have a car payment for $100 and a house for $100, that's great. But let's, for just argument's sake, put the $100 toward the credit card.
Pay
A
it off.
month you actually get some taxes back or some other money somehow. Put it toward the credit card, get that credit card paid off, and guess what? That $100 going to the credit card can now go toward the car.
Yep.
Extra payments for the car, since it's the medium interest rate. And then lastly, once you have it paid off, then you can put all that money toward the house, but go with the higher interest rate ones first. That's usually the best way to go. Usually. There's other times you might want to think of it differently, but that's usually the best way to do it.
Yeah, and right now too with your mortgage, you can always change your mortgage. You guys can refinance the mortgages, and then sometimes you'll get lower interest rate and you can put a credit card into that. That's not the best. I mean, you definitely have to look at your situation, but that is an option that you can do if you need to lower everything.
Yeah, I mean, right now, let's say you're paying $600 a month for your mortgage, and then you have all these credit cards. Your mortgage may go up to $650. It depends on your interest rate. It may actually stay at $600, and you can actually get all those credit cards, which had a high interest rate put in there, and now you only have to focus on that one bill, trying to get it paid off. That's really smart.
Make extra cash. Look for ways to make extra cash. There are lots of things that you might not think about. One, maybe there's things around your house or your yard that you could sell that you could get rid of to help with extra cash with that. Maybe there's a job. You could help somebody move some stuff or cut somebody's lawn. There's lots of jobs that can be done.
Yeah, and then if you get to a point where you are being self-sustainable and the crap has hit the fan and we're in hyperinflation, try to find those little niches. You know, you always find people who can make really nice hen boxes, or sell some produce from their garden. You know, people will pay big bucks for those kind of things, especially when it comes to organic stuff, you know, or eggs from the hens. You know, there's always little ways to make money. And by doing that extra cash, you can actually pay off stuff or actually buy some other things that you would need. Stop wasting money. The last thing you really want to do is eat out. I don't care if you get the extra special, extra value meal, which is cheap. It's still far more expensive and far less healthy than eating at home. Stop it. And entertainment too. I'm like, don't get me wrong, you should have some entertainment. Maybe go see a movie, or just go out and get an ice cream. I get it. But you know, you need to be thrifty and try to make those the exception, not the general rule.
Yeah, exactly. No designer stuff, guys, or just really expensive name brand stuff. Do generic. And also, for me, especially, don't shop the Target end caps because those will get you every time. Even though you may not need it, they'll get you, I'm telling you.
The clearance stuff?
Yes.
Sometimes
awful.
that's good though, you know, because we actually found toothpaste. Nobody wanted it, so we tried one. It was super cheap. It was. And we loved it. And it was like a third of the price of toothpaste. So we actually went back and bought the rest of them.
Have self-control at the end caps. How about that? If you need toothpaste, then you could stock up
be
for
wise
cheap.
about the purchases. Exactly.
Stop buying new. Get your items used. There are great opportunities to get things used. You can go to thrift stores. Yard sale season's coming up, which I'm super excited about.
Yeah. We're big yard sales.
We are.
eBay. I mean, eBay is actually turned into like a...
marketing more.
Yeah, like a business. I mean, you still get good deals there sometimes.
Craigslist.
Craigslist, yeah. Some people still use that. Facebook Marketplace.
That's a big one.
You know, and we find that, you know, there's certain items that when you buy them new, they're way too expensive anyway. And then if you shop for them used, you get them for like half the price and they're still like new.
Yeah.
Try to be really thrifty for things you do have to buy. Purchase hard assets.
Buy tangible items like silver and gold and ammo.
Oh yeah, lots and lots of ammo. I'm really amazed that you're actually seeing ammunition in stores again. We went to a Cabela's, and they're often a little bit overpriced compared to other stores we go to.
But they had a lot in.
It was all fully stocked up, which is great. That's like, honestly, a box of ammo to me is almost like a gold brick. I really think of it that way because when things are rough, that box of ammo becomes... You can
barter a lot with or sell.
Yeah, barter, exactly. But when people went through the Depression before, only hard assets and tangible items were the things that actually got them through. In other words, right now is not really the time for investing. Unless, by the way, if you can, invest in land. Yes. Because we are starting a land market right now. And I've actually I said this before, and people commented and said, oh no, we're at the end of a land market. You need to research, basically see how markets are. We're actually, for the next 7 years, are in a land market, and prices of land's only going to keep going up and up and up, while you're going to see volatility in other things like commodities and stocks and such. But land, I mean, if you could find a deal. Yeah. But you know, there's always somebody who is hard pressed that has to sell some land.
There is.
So if you actually want to buy some land and you have some money for it, I would actually drive around. and literally ask the locals. Go into a mom and pop little store and try to casually come up with a conversation. Hey, is that WD-40? Hey, do you have land for sale by chance, or know somebody who has some? You'd be amazed. You might come across some, and those are the ones you can actually get decent deals. But you have to do the legwork and shoot for it. But besides land, investments right now is not the time. Buy tangible hard assets.
Cheaper transportation. Now, we've talked about this before. There are a lot of other ways. You can carpool, you can ride a bike. If you live close enough, you can walk even.
Or get a scooter.
Yeah.
I want a scooter.
That'd be fun.
I always want a go-kart. Drive a go-kart to work. But, or, the new trend now is work from home.
Yes.
It's amazing how many jobs went from going to a place to now working from home, which is cool in a lot of ways, but also keeps us isolated and separated socially wise, which is not a healthy thing. But something else too, by the way, is if you have a couple of cars, you may want to sell one, but if you really don't want to get rid of the second one, you're not going to drive it for a few months, call your insurance company and tell them, I want to put it in storage.
Yeah.
Because they can actually drop the insurance down significantly. I want to say it's nothing, but it's actually really
minimal.
cheap. It's really cheap. And just keep it in storage, and the agreement is you have to just reinstate it back as a driving auto when it's time to take it back out again. Be self-sufficient.
Gardening, having chickens, be self-sustainable.
Yeah, grow your own garden, learn to hunt and fish. There's all kinds of those skills that unless you actually live out in the country, people forgot how to do these things. And I'll be honest with you, I've fished for a big part of my life, but when we moved out in the country, I really learned how to fish, and to the point where we're catching big ones now, which is awesome.
It is. Salmon fishing is amazing up here.
Yeah, so try to get those things, those skills down, especially gardening too, so you can be self-sufficient.
Increase home security. With everything going on, law enforcement will be overwhelmed and they might not be able to get to you fast enough.
Yeah, so you have to learn to have your own security at your house. Obviously, we're talking about guns and ammo, but drill and train and practice.
Have security lights.
Yeah, security cameras if you can. And even better, and I can't stress this enough, get with your neighbors.
Yes.
And have it so you can establish neighborhood watches. There's been a lot of neighborhoods where there's been crime, and once they started having neighborhood watches, their crime went down. Didn't disappear.
Yeah.
But it went down, and all they're looking for, your neighbors are scared too. They just need somebody to organize it, and that person should be you. Hyperinflation definitely leads to crime, and you guys need to really watch out for each other and not depend on somebody to come take care of you. Get back to the basics. Getting back to the basics, for me, that's the cool stuff. The art of things that have been lost by most people, not everybody obviously. Making your own soap and detergents, water filtration system, making your own water filtration systems,
dehydrating food,
canning, exactly.
There's lots of things like that. Even wood, how to build a fire, to even what kind of wood you're supposed to use in a fire is really important that nobody really even knows. I was surprised when we started burning wood that there was certain wood you do not burn. So
yeah, and then learning how to cut it, season it, stacking it. I mean, the list goes on, and that is certainly some things we will talk about in this channel this summer. Basically, we'll be doing a series, I guess you want to call that, of Back to the Basics. Lots of just real simple things so you know how to do these things so that stuff's not lost with you as well.
That way you're prepared.
Exactly. All right, so with this, there's your ultimate guide. Hyperinflation is coming, and being prepared is the key. What else would you add to this list? Go ahead and put it in the comments below, because, again, it's coming, and it's pretty scary if you're going to get caught without being prepared. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and check out this video, and let's continue.